Hey, good morning, everybody. Glad you could join us today. I hope your week's ended up to be a good week as we kind of get ready to close out. We got today and tomorrow, and we're pretty much done with the third quarter of 2018. I do want to remind you we've got a new free report that we want to let you know about. I'll find it over here somewhere. There we go. On Social Security, all you have to do is, again, text the word security to 863-285-3815. You know, the decision you make when it comes to Social Security could be one of the biggest choices you have to make and a huge decisions toward the rest of your retirement. So get your free report on Social Security choices by texting the word security to 863-285-3815. Hey, Dave will be with us in just a moment.
Tenders there, good morning. It is 8:40 here, 20 before 9. Checking in on finances and see what on Sam Hill the world is doing to your retirement fund this morning. We always check that out with the voice of authority, Phillip Statler from the offices of Statler Financial Services downtown. Phillip, good morning. Are you the voice of authority this morning?
Well, I don't know what authority, but hey, we're a voice anyway.
The authority in the world of financing is who's got the most reliable internet connection sometimes, right?
That can be true. That can be true. And who's running the fastest?
Yeah, that could be it. It's always interesting seeing what goes on. We had a big day yesterday. Everything basically got back what we lost the day before. Dow was up 163, NASDAQ up by 84, Standard & Poor's up by 18. Boy, you'd think sunny days were here again. And then I find out the New York Fed decided to fix things by throwing a bunch of money into the economy, and that gave us kind of a dose of heroin on the stock market, didn't it?
Well, I think that plus, you know, they were talking about some trade results. You know, they indicated that things were going well with the trade talks, and so I think that helped some too.
Absolutely. It's almost like they forgot about the impeachment kerfuffle that they had the day before. Start the morning out with some good news from the federal government data dump. Start out with the one that we've been talking about being really important all week long, the final reading on the second quarter's gross domestic product. 2% wasn't what the administration was looking for, but they confirmed and left it where it was on the last reading. 2% growth during the last quarter. I'm assuming that wasn't a surprise to investors on Wall Street.
No, that was kind of what was expected. They expected that 2%, but you're right. It is some indication that things are slowing down a little bit, but that is the third and final reading for the quarter. And so that tells us that we're in line with what everybody expected. And so we'll see what can happen in the fourth quarter.
And 2%, really, I mean, you would like to see 3% for a solidly growing economy, but it just kind of confirms what you and I have been saying off of the data points all along. We're still growing. We're not in recession at this point in time, just not growing at the gangbusters rate we were for a chunk of last year.
Well, that's true, and yeah, you're right. We've been talking about that, and so that's what we expect. And there's going to be a slowing of the economy. And I mean, we're at the tail end of our expansion, and so you know, every bit of growth we get, we need to be thankful for.
Absolutely. The other indication we've got is the fact that our employment market is still in pretty darn good shape. First-time unemployment claims last week, 213,000. That's still beyond full employment. It was up 3,000, but still, that's got to be good news.
Oh, absolutely. It came in line with what basically everybody expected, 212,000. So, hey, a 1,000 difference is not a big deal. So we're right in line with what everybody expected today. So I'm not sure how much that's really going to lean on the markets today.
It doesn't look like it's making a big difference. I mean, we've got a modest up day going so far, and I haven't, at least on my delayed quotes, seen a monster change off of the data dump. How about some of the stocks that we're going to be trading later on this morning? You got some good news on the quarterly reports?
I do have some, and it must be just the tail end, man. It must be the last few companies coming in to report. We had Accenture, which is a consulting firm. They came in 3 cents ahead of estimates. Their earnings have been improved by some digital and cloud services that they've added to their lineup. And so they're trading down, though, because they gave some not so friendly guidance for the current quarter. So that's affecting them. They're down about 1.5% this morning. Then one of the food companies, ConAgra, brands. They came in 4 cents ahead of estimates. However, revenue was below what Wall Street had forecast. And one of their indicators is their organic sales, and their organic sales fell by about 1.7%. But they must have given some good guidance or something else, because they're trading up a little over 3.5% this morning.
Hence my question. They're toward the top of my big winner list this morning, and all you were telling me was bad news out of them.
Well, they did beat on earnings per share. Just revenue was below forecast, and I guess as long as you're making money, that's the key thing.
And in agriculture-based economy, anything given the trade situation that shows good news, I think investors might be looking for at the moment, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, the other one I have is FactSet. Now, FactSet's not going to mean much to people out there driving to work this morning. However, FactSet means a lot to folks like me, because they're one of the companies that provide financial news. They do analysts. They collect a lot of data, and they had a good quarter as far as earnings per share. They beat by about 15 cents a share. Revenue was also ahead of forecast, but again, it's one of those cases where their fiscal 2020 earnings forecast was below the estimate, and they're getting pounded this morning. They're down 8.5%.
Wow. Yeah, to localize for folks, the word FactSet, they're the company when we say they beat the street. One of the expectations that we use to say whether or not they beat something is a number that FactSet generates.
Exactly. So they're good. They're a research firm, provide a lot of data. We've been talking about housing. So we had another construction company come out, house builder. KB Homes reported.
They're a big one.
Yeah, they are a big one. They beat by 7 cents a share. Revenue, though, was below Wall Street forecast. They did see a 24% rise in net orders during the quarter. So I think that's probably good news for them, too. And the traders are liking what they see, because they're up 1.6% this morning. They'll actually open, Dave, at a new 52-week high at the current rate they're going.
That's cool. You think the mortgage rates are helping that?
I think definitely they're helping that. And so that's a big thing. The unemployment rate, that's helping, because that means people are working. So all of that benefits the home builders.
You put it all together and just completely reinforces the picture that we're not doing bad. We just aren't doing as well as our dreams were, right?
Exactly. And the last one I have is Rite Aid, the pharmacy chain. They did beat. They had a really probably pretty good quarter for them. They beat by 5 cents a share, came in at 12 cents. They missed on revenue. How their same-store sales were down a little bit too. But they're up this morning. I guess they like the earnings per share number, because they're not a expensive stock right now, but they're up 9.25% this morning.
Wow, good. That works well. Resetting the table again this morning, the Dow was up, the Nasdaq was up, the S&P was up yesterday. As a matter of fact, the Nasdaq regained over 1% yesterday. A nice green day. 45 minutes before the real money gets thrown around. Phillip, which direction are we going this morning?
Hey, we've been pretty stable this morning, Dave. The Dow right now looks like it's up about 0.25%. The S&P 500 is about the same. The Nasdaq's on the lower end. It's up about 15 basis points, up $10.75. We've got everything else trending down. The gold, silver is actually down 1.1%. Down 20 cents an ounce to $17.88. And then we got crude oil down 0.5% to $56.20 a barrel.
Take that happily. The overseas markets are generally happy with what we did yesterday. I got green ink closings on Asia, and everything's green pretty much halfway through their day in the European markets as well. Phillip, I noticed that the 10-year Treasury notes, the yield on those is starting to go back up again, starting to indicate that, we got a little bit more faith in equities at the very least for the short term on the serious money, right?
Well, probably on the short term, and it's probably up from yesterday. I still have it trending down, Dave. I'm not sure. It's still not as bad as it was, though. I mean, it had gotten down pretty low. I showed it 1.69 right now.
Okay, yeah, I have it up 5 basis points up to 1.70 at the moment, but
gotcha.
At the very least, we're seeing some money going into equities for the moment. Hey, somebody want to figure this out, because even the smart heads here on the radio sometimes can't get a perfectly clear idea which way things are going. Time to ensure stability for one's retirement funds. How do I find you on the phone to get that done?
David, give us a call at 382-0037. They can also get our free report on Social Security choices. You know, that's probably one of the biggest choices people have to make when they head into retirement. And it's one they don't want to get wrong. And so we put together a free report on Social Security choices. All they have to do, Dave, is text security to 863-285-3815. That's security to 863-285-3815 to get their free report. And then join us every weekend, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturdays, 10 a.m. Sunday mornings on News Talk 730 a.m.
All righty, and back here tomorrow morning live on 105.7 Light FM with a look at what happened today and what's likely to go on tomorrow. Phillip, thank you so much. We will catch you on the morrow here, all right?
All right, man. Thanks. Have a great one.
Thank you much. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us and remind you again about the free report we have on Social Security choices, the choices you have to make as you head into retirement. Get your free report by texting security to 863-285-3815. Do it right now before you get busy and forget. It is important. Thanks. Have a great day. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow.